Who really rules the world? Many people would answer the above question with a single word, God. But significantly, nowhere does the Bible say that either Jesus Christ or his Father are the real rulers of this world. On the contrary, Jesus said, the ruler of this world will be cast out. And he added, the ruler of the world is coming, and he has no hold on me. John 12:31. Let's have a look at these scriptures. John 12:31 reads, now there is a judging of this world. Now the ruler of this world will be cast out. John 14:30 reads, I shall not speak much with you any more, for the ruler of this world is coming, and he has no hold on me. 16:11 reads, then concerning judgment, because the ruler of this world has been judged. So the ruler of this world is in opposition to Jesus. Who could this be? A clue from world conditions. Despite the efforts of well-meaning humans, the world has suffered terribly throughout history. This causes thinking persons to wonder, as did the late editorial writer David Lawrence, peace on earth, nearly everybody wants it. Goodwill toward men, almost all the peoples of the world feel it toward one another. Then what's wrong? Why is war threatened despite the innate desires of peoples? It seems a paradox, doesn't it? When the natural desire of people is to live at peace, they commonly hate and kill one another, and with such viciousness. Consider the cold-blooded excesses in monstrous cruelty. Humans have used gas chambers, concentration camps, flamethrowers, napalm bombs, and other heinous methods of torture, and slaughter one another mercilessly. Do you believe that humans who long for peace and happiness are capable in themselves of such gross wickedness against others? What forces drive men to such loathsome deeds or maneuver them into situations where they feel compelled to commit atrocities? Have you ever wondered whether some wicked, invisible power is influencing people to commit such acts of violence? The rulers of the world identified. There is no need to guess at the matter, for the Bible clearly shows that an intelligent, unseen person has been controlling both men and nations. It says, the whole world is lying in the power of the wicked one, and the Bible identifies him saying, the one called devil and Satan is misleading the entire inhabited earth. Let's have a look at 1 John 5:19. We know we originate with God, but the whole world is lying in the power of the wicked one. Revelation 12:9 reads, so down the great dragon was hurled, the original serpent, the one called devil and Satan, who is misleading the entire inhabited earth. He was hurled down to the earth, and his angels were hurled down with him. On an occasion when Jesus was tempted by the devil, Jesus did not question Satan's role as the ruler of this world. The Bible explains what happened. The devil took him along to an unusually high mountain, and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their glory, and he said to him, all these things I will give you if you fall down and do an act of worship to me. Then Jesus said to him, go away, Satan. Let's have a look at Matthew 4:1 and 8-10. Then Jesus was led by the Spirit up into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. From verse 8. Again, The devil took him along to an unusually high mountain, and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their glory. And he said to him, "All these things I will give you, if you fall down and do an act of worship to me." Then Jesus said to him, "Go away, Satan, for it is written, it is Jehovah your God you must worship, and it is to him alone you must render sacred service." Think about this. Satan tempted Jesus by offering him all the kingdoms of the world. Yet would Satan's offer be a real temptation if Satan was not actually the ruler of these kingdoms? No, it would not. And note, Jesus did not deny that all these worldly governments were Satan's, which he would have done if Satan did not have a power over him. So then, Satan the devil really is the unseen ruler of the world. The Bible, in fact, calls him the God of this system of things. 2 Corinthians 4:4 reads, "Among whom the God of this system of things has blinded the minds of the unbelievers, that the illumination of the glorious good news about the Christ, who is the image of God, might not shine through." Yet how did such a wicked person ever come into this powerful position? The one who became Satan had been an angel created by God, but he became envious of God's position. He challenged God's rightful rulership. To this end, he used a serpent as a mouthpiece to deceive the first woman, Eve, and was thus able to get her and her husband, Adam, to do his bidding rather than obey God. Genesis 3:1-6 reads, "Now the serpent proved to be the most cautious of all the wild beasts of the field that Jehovah God had made. So it began to say to the woman, 'Is it really so that God said you must not eat from every tree of the garden?' At this the woman said to the serpent, 'Of the fruit of the trees of the garden we may eat. But as for the eating of the fruit of the tree that is in the middle of the garden, God has said, you must not eat from it. No, you must not touch it, that you do not die.' At this the serpent said to the woman, You positively will not die. For God knows that in the very day of your eating from it, your eyes are bound to be opened, and you are bound to be like God, knowing good and bad." Consequently, the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was something to be longed for to the eyes. Yes, the tree was desirable to look upon. So she began taking of its fruit and eating it. Afterward, she gave some also to her husband, went with her, and he began eating it. 2 Corinthians 11:3 reads, "But I am afraid that somehow, as the serpent seduced Eve by its cunning, your minds might be corrupted away from the sincerity and the chastity that are due the Christ." He also claimed he could turn all of Adam and Eve's yet unborn offspring away from God. So God allowed time for Satan to try to prove his claim, but Satan has not succeeded. Job chapter 1 verses 6-12 reads, "Now it came to be the day when the sons of the true God entered to take their station before Jehovah, and even Satan proceeded to enter right among them. Then Jehovah said to Satan, 'Where do you come from?' At that Satan answered Jehovah and said, 'From roving about in the earth, and from walking about in it.' And Jehovah went on to say to Satan, 'Have you set your heart upon my servant Job, that there is no one like him in the earth, a man blameless and upright, fearing God, and turning aside from bad?' At that Satan answered Jehovah and said, 'Is it for nothing that Job has feared God? Have you yourself put up a hedge about him, and about his house, and about everything that he has all around? The work of his hands you have blessed, and his livestock itself has spread abroad in the earth. But for a change, thrust out your hand, please, and touch everything he has, and see whether he will not curse you to your very face. Accordingly, Jehovah said to Satan, Look, everything that he has is in your hand. Only against him himself do not thrust out your hand. So Satan went out away from the person of Jehovah. Chapter 2, verses 1 to 10 reads, After all, it came to be the day when the sons of the true God entered to take their station before Jehovah, and Satan also proceeded to enter right among them to take his station before Jehovah. Then Jehovah said to Satan, Just where do you come from? At that Satan answered Jehovah and said, From roving about in the earth, and from walking about in it. And Jehovah went on to say to Satan, Have you set your heart upon my servant Job, that there is no one like him in the earth, a man blameless and upright, fearing God, and turning aside from bad? Even yet he is holding fast his integrity, although you incite me against him to swallow him up without cause. But Satan answered Jehovah and said, Skin in behalf of skin, and everything that a man has he will give in behalf of his soul. For a change, thrust out your hand, please, and touch as far as his bone and his flesh, and see whether he will not curse you to your very face. Accordingly, Jehovah said to Satan, There he is in your hand. Only watch out for his soul itself. So Satan went out away from the person of Jehovah, and struck Job with a malignant boil, from the sole of his foot to the crown of his head. And he proceeded to take for himself a fragment of earthenware, with which to scrape himself, and he was sitting in among the ashes. Finally his wife said to him, Are you yet holding fast your integrity? Curse God and die. But he said to her, As one of the senseless women speaks, you speak also. Shall we accept merely what is good from the true God, and not accept what also is bad? In all this Job did not sin with his lips. Significantly, Satan is not alone in his rulership of the world. He was successful in persuading some of the other angels to join him in rebellion against God. These became demons, his spirit accomplices. The Bible speaks of them when it urges Christians, Stand firm against the machinations of the devil, because we have a wrestling not against blood and flesh, but against the world rulers of this darkness, against the wicked spirit forces in the heavenly places. Ephesians 6:11 and 12. Resist wicked spirits. These unseen wicked world rulers are determined to mislead all mankind, turning them away from the worship of God. One way wicked spirits do this is by promoting the idea of survival after death, even though God's word clearly shows that the dead are not conscious. Genesis chapter 2 verse 17 reads, But as for the tree of the knowledge of good and bad, you must not eat from it, for in the day of you eat from it, you will positively die. 3:19 reads, In the sweat of your face you will eat bread until you return to the ground, for out of it you were taken, for dust you are, and to dust you will return. Ezekiel 18:4 reads, Look, all the souls to me they belong. As the soul of a father, so likewise the soul of a son. To me they belong. The soul that is sinning, it itself will die. Psalm 146, verses 3 and 4. Do not put your trust in nobles, nor in the son of earthly man, to whom no salvation belongs. His spirit goes out, he goes back to his ground, and in that day his thoughts do perish. Ecclesiastes chapter 9 verses 5 and 10 reads, "For the living are conscious that they will die, but as for the dead, they are conscious of nothing at all, neither do they any more have wages, because the remembrance of them has been forgotten." Verse 10. "All that your hand finds to do, do with your very power, for there is no work, nor devising, nor knowledge, nor wisdom and show, the place to which you are going." Thus, a wicked spirit imitating the voice of one who has died may talk with that one's living relatives or friends, either through a spirit medium or by a voice from the invisible realm. The voice pretends to be the departed one, yet it is actually a demon. So if you ever hear such a voice, do not be deceived. Reject whatever it says and echo Jesus' words, "Go away, Satan." Matthew 4:10 reads, "Then Jesus said to him, Go away, Satan, for it is written, It is Jehovah your God you must worship, and it is to him alone you must render sacred service." James 4:7 reads, "Subject yourselves therefore to God, but oppose the devil, and he will flee from you." Do not allow curiosity about the spirit realm to cause you to become involved with wicked spirits. Such involvement is called spiritism, and God warns his worshippers against it in all forms. The Bible condemns anyone who employs divination, or anyone who consults a spirit medium or a professional foreteller of events, or anyone who inquires of the dead. Deuteronomy 18 verses 10 to 12 reads, "There should not be found in you anyone who makes his son or his daughter pass through the fire, anyone who employs divination, a practicer of magic, or anyone who looks for omens, or a sorcerer, or one who binds others with a spell, or anyone who consults a spirit medium, or a professional foreteller of events, or anyone who inquires of the dead. For everybody doing these things is something detestable to Jehovah, and on account of these detestable things, Jehovah your God is driving them away from before you." Galatians 5:19 to 21 reads, "Now the works of the flesh are manifest, and they are fornication, uncleanness, loose conduct, idolatry, practice of spiritism, enmities, strife, jealousy, fits of anger, contentions, divisions, sects, envy, drunken bouts, revelries, and things like these. As to these things I am forewarning you, the same way as I did forewarn you, and for those who practice such things will not inherit God's kingdom." Revelation 21:8. "But as for the cowards and those without faith, and those who are disgusting in their filth, and murderers and fornicators, and those practicing spiritism, and idolaters, and all the liars, their portion will be in the lake that burns with fire and sulphur." This means the second death. Since spiritism brings a person under the influence of the demons, resist all its practices regardless of how much fun or how exciting they may seem to be. These practices include crystal ball gazing, use of a Ouija board, ESP, examining the lines of one's hand, palmistry, and astrology. Demons have also caused noises and other physical phenomena in houses that they make their territory. In addition, wicked spirits capitalize on the sinful bent of humans by promoting literature, movies, and television programs that feature immoral and unnatural sexual behavior. The demons know that wrong thoughts, if not expelled from the mind, will cause indelible impressions that lead humans to behave immorally, like the demons themselves. Genesis 6:1-2 reads, "Now it came about that when men started to grow in numbers on the surface of the ground, and daughters were born to them, then the sons of the true God began to notice the daughters of men, that they were good looking, and they went taking wives for themselves, namely all whom they chose. 1 Thessalonians 4:3-8 reads, For this is what God wills, the sanctifying of you, that you abstain from fornication, that each one of you should know how to get possession of his own vessel, in sanctification and honour, not in covetous sexual appetite, but such as also those nations have which do not know God, that no one go to the point of harming and encroach upon the rights of his brother in this matter, because Jehovah is one who exacts punishment for all these things, just as we told you beforehand, and also gave you a thorough witness. For God called us, not with allowance for uncleanness, but in connection with sanctification. So then, the man that shows disregard is disregarding not man, but God, who puts his Holy Spirit in you. Jude 6 reads, And the angels that did not keep their original position but forsook their own proper dwelling place, he has reserved with eternal bonds, under dense darkness for the judgment of a great day. True, many may scoff at the idea that this world is ruled by wicked spirits, but their disbelief is not surprising, since the Bible says, Satan himself keeps transforming himself into an angel of light. 2 Corinthians 11:14. His most clever deception has been in blinding many to the fact that he and his demons really exist. But do not be deceived. The devil and his demons are real, and you need to resist them continually. 1 Peter 5:8-9 reads, Keep your senses, be watchful. Your adversary, the devil, walks around like a roaring lion, seeking to devour someone. But take your stand against him, solid in the faith, knowing that the same things in the way of sufferings are being accomplished in the entire association of your brothers in the world. Happily, the time is now near when Satan and his cohorts will be no more. The world, including its demon rulers, is passing away. The Bible assures, But he that does the will of God remains forever. 1 John 2:17. What a relief it will be to have the evil influence removed. May we, therefore, be among those who do God's will and enjoy life forever in God's righteous new world. Psalm 37 verses 9-11 read, For evildoers themselves will be cut off, but those hoping in Jehovah are the ones that will possess the earth. And just a little while longer, and the wicked one will be no more, and you will certainly give attention to his place, and he will not be. But the meek ones themselves will possess the earth, and they will indeed find exquisite delight in the abundance of peace. Verse 29 reads, The righteous themselves will possess the earth, and they will reside forever upon it. 2 Peter 3:13 reads, But there are new heavens and a new earth that we are awaiting according to his promise, and in these righteousness is to dwell. Revelation 21:3-4 reads, With that I heard a loud voice from the throne say, Look, the tent of God is with mankind, and he will reside with them, and they will be his peoples, and God himself will be with them, and he will wipe out every tear from their eyes, and death will be no more. Neither will mourning, nor outcry, nor pain be any more. The former things have passed away. Unless otherwise indicated, all Bible quotations are from the New World Translation of Holy Scriptures. You can obtain a copy of this from jw.org, free for download. If you would like a free home Bible study at a time and place to suit you, please navigate your browser to jw.org and follow the links online. Thank you for listening.